Hey everybody, welcome back to This Week in Magic Online Finance. I'm your host Chaz Andres, and as always, let's get started with the news. Standard, still the format in everybody's mind. The metagame was established last week at Star City Games Dallas, and that's continued on this weekend with the Magic World Championships. Big news out of that tournament is the emergence of a blue-black control deck, featuring, of course, the Scarab God, and also, of course, Torrential Gearhulk. More exciting, Search for Azcanta and Disallow are both key cards in that deck, and they're surging in price right now. Same with the format's blue-black lands, as Scarab God-based decks are just taking the format by storm. Now, the other three decks to show up in force at the World Championship were more well-known. Temur Energy, 4-Color Energy, and of course, Ramunap Red. Unfortunately, Dinosaurs still MIA. And also a surprise, those blue-white control decks from the previous week, they didn't show up at all. As a result, the key cards from Ramunap Red are still making small gains online. Chandra Torch of Defiance, Hazoret the Fervent, they're slowly ticking up. Meanwhile, a lot of the white cards are falling off right now. Authority of the Consuls, Fumigate, these were fairly big gainers in the wake of Star City Games Dallas. They're now starting to tick down a bit. The most interesting card to me right now is Hostage Taker. It looked like the best card in the entire format at Star City Games Dallas, and a lot of the pros were saying it's the best card in Ixalan. Unfortunately, not a single copy across any of the decks at the World Championship. It surged up to 14 tickets last weekend, it's back down to 5.5 now. The important thing to remember here is that small metagames like the World Championship, where there are only 24 players and they know each other really well, are going to be a little bit different. Did we all overrate Hostage Taker last week? It's possible, maybe even probable that we did, but I still can't believe it's not going to be one of the most impactful cards in Ixalan. It looked awesome. So if the price goes down below 5 tickets this week, I'll probably buy a set. I just can't see it staying that low for long. Now, the card that gained the most ground in Standard last week was, of course, the Scarab God. And this week, of course, the card that gained the most in Standard was the Scarab God. It jumped another 14 tickets, from 34 up to 48. And I'm really not surprised. It's a staple in 4-Color Energy. It's a staple in Temur Energy. It's a staple in the cool new blue-black deck that looked really good over the weekend. So if you're playing a top-tier Standard deck and you don't want to play Ramunap Red, you're probably playing the Scarab God. That's a recipe for a card that's going to be very expensive for a very long time. Now, there weren't a lot of gains in Modern this week because everyone's too focused on Standard, but I do want to point out that Scapeshift is back up from 22 to about 24. And this was the biggest loser of last week. I pointed out to you that I didn't know why this was happening, and some of you wrote back to me saying, hey, these are just seasonal trends. It's people selling their high-end staples so they can afford to buy into Standard and Draft. And that makes sense, and it also means that Scapeshift is undervalued right now, like I thought. It will probably be back up to 30 again soon, so if you're one of those people that wants to build a Modern collection and play year-round, now's a really good time to buy in. Now, there weren't many drops in Standard this week. People are just too excited about the format. Walking Ballista did drop about 3 tickets, though, going from 14 to about 11. This is probably because Esper Gift looked pretty good in Dallas, but it didn't really show up at the World Championship. That said, you still need Walking Ballista for some of the energy decks. It's still good in Modern, Legacy, even Vintage. I can't really imagine this card dropping below 10 for long. If you need a copy and you play a lot of Standard, now's a decent time to buy in. Now, the biggest loser in Modern this week is a pretty expensive and significant card. It's Mox Opal. It dropped 13 tickets from 60 down to 47. And again, I checked. Its treasure chest rate didn't really drop, and its use in the metagame hasn't really gone down. Affinity is still really good, and it sees play in other decks as well. This seems to be yet another example of the Scapeshift thing, where people are selling their high-end Modern staples now, they're buying into Standard, they're drafting the cool new set, and the prices will start to go back up again once Modern steps back into the spotlight. It's not a very risky buy at 47, so if you're looking to play Affinity or any other Mox Opal deck in Modern or Legacy, now's a really good time to buy. Now, the sneak of this week is Grim Flayer. Flayer bottomed out at about 6 tickets back in August, and it's up over 10 tickets now. It sees a lot of play in Modern Obzon, as well as a little bit of play in a couple of other rogue decks. It's not going to be a major gainer anytime soon, but if you need these for Modern, its rotational discount has probably come and gone. I don't think you're going to get a better deal on these than you are right now. Now, I finish off each week by taking a look at the MTGO Traders hot list. These are the cards that MTGO Traders is paying a little bit extra for because they're really hot in the metagame right now. And you can find the list yourself at mtgotraders.com/hotlist or on Magic Online at hotlistbot or hotlistbot2. Now, the reason why I tell you where these lists are is because the prices can change fast. Ixalan Standard is very young, prices are shifting by the minute. So if you go to the hot list now and you see different numbers than I'm telling you, it's because things have changed in the 12 or 20 hours since I recorded this. Now, the two hottest Ixalan cards on the hot list are Vraska's Contempt and Search for Azcanta. The hot list is paying almost 8 tickets for Vraska's Contempt, almost 7 tickets for Search for Azcanta, and it's all thanks to that blue-black control deck. It's also worth pointing out that Carnage Tyrant is still on the hot list for about 7 tickets. It's a very high-risk, high-reward play. It may end up being one of the most expensive cards in the entire format at some point, and it looks really good. Unfortunately, it hasn't really done much to date, so it might be worth cashing out now. Your choice. That's all I got for you this week. Don't forget to like the video, and please do subscribe to the channel. MTGO Traders is putting out lots of cool stuff every single day that I really think you'd enjoy. As for me, I'll see you next Monday.